Today's session we are going to cover how to store semi-structured data, how to extract information from semi-structured data, and then we will move to the structured data. This is the third type of digital data, that is structured data. So continuing with the semi-structured data, these are the possible solutions for storing the semi-structured data. So first one is XML. XML allows to define tags and attributes. As we have seen in the last lecture, the XML file, it will allow you to define tags and attributes to store data. And data can be stored in a hierarchical and nested structure. So this is the one of the solution to store the semi-structured data, that is XML. Next is RDBMS. Semi-structured data can be stored in a relational database by mapping the data to a relational schema, which is then mapped to a table. So we can convert your unstructured data to relational format, and that mapped table you can store in RDBMS. So this is the one of the way possible solution to store the semi-structured data. Next is special purpose DBMS. Databases which are specifically designed to store semi-structured data. So dedicated databases is used to store semi-structured data. So this is one of the possible solution to store the semi-structured data. Next is OEM. Data can be stored and exchanged in the form of graph where entities are represented as objects which are the verticals in a graph. So with the help of OEM, we can store the semi-structured data which is in the form of graph, which consists the objects. So these are the possible solutions to store the semi-structured data. First one is XML, next is RDBMS, next is special purpose DBMS, next is OEM. So after storing the data, next task is to extract information from semi-structured data. So these are the possible solutions. Make use of flat files. Semi-structured is usually stored in flat files which are difficult to index and search. Heterogeneous sources. Data comes from varied sources while it is difficult to tag and search. So these are just some of the challenges of the before retrieving the data from the semi-structured data. Incomplete and irregular structure. Extracting structure when there is none and interpreting the relations exist in the structure, which is present is a difficult task. If your structure is incomplete, then to maintain the relationship between this data will be difficult. So these are the challenges before you retrieve the data from the semi-structured data. These are the possible solutions for this. So first one is indexing. Indexing data in a graph-based model enables quick search. Indexing data in a graph-based model enables quick search. It allows data to be stored in graph-based data model. So with the help of OEM, you can store the graph-based data model, which is easier to index and search. Which is easier to index and search. Next is XML. It allows data to be arranged in a hierarchical or tree-like structure, which enables indexing and searching. Next is, with the help of mining tools, you can extract the information from the semi-structured data. Various mining tools are available. We search data based on graph, schemas, structure. Most used to store the solution for semi-structured data management is XML. So what is XML? It is an extensible markup language. It is a extensible markup language. What is XML? It's an open source markup language written in a plain text. You can return this XML in a plain text. It is hardware and software independent. One of the most key feature of XML is it is hardware as well as software independent. What it does? It is designed to store and transport data over the internet. This XML is used to store and transport the data over the internet. From one site to another site, if you want to transfer the data, you can keep that data in XML file, and that XML file you can transfer over the internet. How? It allows data to be stored in a hierarchical nested structure. It allows user to define tags to store the data. So with the help of this structure, you can transfer data from one location to another location. Data is in the form of hierarchical nested structure, and this XML allows to define user defined tags, means you can have your own tags. So this is the one of the solution for semi-structured data management. So XML has no predefined tags, as in case of HTML there are predefined tags. So in XML there is no predefined tags. This is an example message to XYZ/2. This is the start of the tag. This is the start of the tag, whereas this /2 means it is the end of the tag, and tag is kept inside this less than greater than symbol. This is the from BBC. This from is start of the tag, whereas this from is end of the tag, and the tag name is from. Tag name is from. Subject, greetings, and then end of the subject. This is the body of the body tag, which will consider the body of the message. Hello, how are you? And this is the end of the message tag. Keep in mind, this is the start of the message tag, and this is the end of the message tag. The word in these angular brackets are user defined tags, and all these tags are user defined. You can define your own tags. This from is user defined. Okay, you can define the tag like this, A, B, C. This is the user defined tag. This is the start of the tag, and this is the end of the tag. And inside it, you can have your data over here. This is called as user defined tags. XML is known as self-describing, as data can exist without schema and schema can be added later. XML is known as self-describing. The data itself describe what the data is. From example, this 2 will indicate to which you are sending the email. This from means from where the email came. The subject indicates the subject of the email. Body indicates body of the email. So it is a self-describing. By looking at this, you can guess what this data is. That's why it is called as self-describing. So you can have a schema which can be described in XSLT or XML schema. Next, the structured data. This data is familiar with you. You are familiar with the structured data as we have learned in unit number 1, 2, 3. Whatever data is, it is in structured format. Structured data is organized in a systematic chunks, that is entities. The data is organized in systematic chunks, that is entities. Similar entities are grouped together, that is the relations or classes. In the structured data, similar entities are grouped together to form the relations and to form the classes. Entities in the same group have the same description, that is attributes. Description for all entities in a group schema have the same defined format. Description for all entities in a group or in schema will have the same defined format. Will have a predefined length. Will are present or are all present and follow the same order. So these are the features of description of the entities in the group. All entities will have same defined format, have predefined length, are all present and follow the same order. What is structured data? It is conforms to a data model. It is conformed to data model. You can have a standard data model to keep your data. Data is in well structured format and you can keep that data into the data model. Data is stored in a form of rows and columns, that is, for example, relational databases. So data is stored in the form of rows and columns. Data resides in fixed fields with a record or file. Definition, format and meaning of data is explicitly known. Everything is known. Attributes in a group are the same. So attributes in a group are the same. And similar entities are grouped together in structured data. So these are the features of structured data. And if this feature is present in particular data, that data becomes structured data. That data becomes structured data. So where does structured data came from? First one is database. For example, Access, Oracle, and so on. Whatever databases are present, these are the sources of structured data. Next is spreadsheets. Whatever spreadsheets present in the industry, these are the data sources for structured data, because in spreadsheet you can store the data in the form of column and rows, and it is in well format and it is considered as structured data. Next is SQL. Again, it is a database from where you can get the structured data. OLTP system, that we are going to learn. It is again one of the advanced version of database which will help you to store the data in particular format and retrieve it in systematic manner. So all these are the sources of structured data from where you can receive the structured data. In structured data, everything in its place. It is fully described data sets. whatever data sets are present, it is fully described and it is in particular format. It is clearly defined categories and subcategories. So it will define clearly categories and subcategories. Data neatly placed in rows and columns. So this structured data will be kept in rows and columns neatly. Data that goes into the records is regulated by a well-defined structure. Data that goes into the recorded is regulated by well-defined structure. Indexing can be easily done either by the DBMS itself or manually. So mostly DBMS automatically do the indexing to increase the speed of retrieval of the information. Ease with structured data storage. First is storage. Data types, both defined and user defined, help with the storage of the structured data. So you can easily store the structured data. Both type of data types you can store, user defined and system defined, in the storage. Next is scalability. Scalability is not generally an issue with the increase in data. You can increase data, no problem, because data is in well structure and database will handle increased data. So there will not be any issue with related to scalability. Next is security. This DBMS will automatically provide security to your data. Next is update and delete. As you store the data in well structured format, you can easily update and delete data from this structured data. So update and deleting is easy due to structured form. So next is with data retrieval. Retrieve information. A well-defined structure helps in easy retrieval of data. Indexing and searching. Data can be indexed based on not only on a text string but other attributes as well. This enables streamlined search. Next is mining data. Structured data can be easily mined and knowledge can be extracted from it. BI operations. BI works extremely well with structured data. Hence, data mining, warehousing, etc. can be easily undertaken.